but but I guess it really lent itself to having such a huge impact in the last 20 minutes.
And also, we'll get into it, but there's a couple scenes when we get to maybe our favorite scenes that I really wanted to touch upon. We'll get into some facts, though. This was a $1 million movie. It was scraped together just with a few investors, and Billy Bob pretty much did all the groundwork to fund this, and it was through his stage production. There was a short film called Some Folks Call It a Sling Blade, and where Molly Ringwald played a news reporter in the short film.
No.
So that was...
I've not seen that.
Yeah, I've not seen the short film. It is on YouTube, but I haven't seen it. Because I didn't want.
That's interesting.
I didn't want to compare and contrast those two while we're doing this show. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. $1 million. It made $24.4 million, so it was very profitable. And I couldn't find any worldwide totals or gross. But usually movies like that don't play well in other parts of the world. It's a Southern tale, a gothic Southern tale, so it's not going to play well in Asia. You know what I mean? It has 97% positive on Rotten Tomatoes, one of the highest scores that we've had on the show.
Yeah, easily.
And we have had some pretty high scores, even Pulp Fiction last week being at 92 or 93, I think.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that I missed Pulp Fiction?
That was last week.
Dang.
But it will not be the
you guys
last
are on my
Quentin
radar
Tarantino movie that we do. It'll be first of many.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah, I was going to say the first of many.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like, what order do you even...
I was thinking about that tonight.
I almost feel like after that, because of some of the illusions, that, like we had talked about the theories behind what's in the briefcase.
Yep.
See, look, we probably shouldn't delve into a second show about Pulp Fiction, even though we probably could.
See, last week could have been the entire 2 hours could have been Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction
Yeah.
is correct.
Yeah.
I almost feel like, well, should we?
Oh man, what a good one.
Next, yeah.
We should have just done them in order.
One of our favorite theories, we will say this real quick, and let's get your thoughts on it, was what was in the briefcase was Marcellus Wallace's soul. Was one of the theories we came across on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was
tied into apparently some belief, I guess, I didn't know, that something about the devil taking your soul out through the back of your neck, and so there's this scene where when you first get introduced to him, he's got the Band-Aid on his neck and stuff, so. And then others suggested the diamonds from Reservoir Dogs.
Yep.
So,
I don't have a definitive answer, but I do feel like that it was something that was non-tangible. I feel like it was more spiritual, more like
because everyone was in awe of it.
Total.
And would you be total all over diamonds or jewels or gold?
Yeah.
I mean, I would be happy, but would I be speechless? No, probably not.
Right.
So yeah. So but yeah.
Crazy. And this, and just to be clear, this got a higher percentage audience rating than Pulp Fiction we're talking about.
Yep.
what was Pulp?
I want to say it was like 92.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, we decided it was, what did we say? It was something along like the violence.
Yeah.
Or perceived violence.
Perceived violence.
Down the audience.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that Rotten Tomatoes was around.
No, yeah, we referenced that before.
Yeah.
They kind of go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
The first, if this is a trivia question out there.
Ben-Hur has an 83 Rotten Tomatoes. That's amazing.
This is a trivia question. If you call in and answer 1-855-925-WLSD, the trivia question is... I forgot the trivia question that I was going to say. I really did forget.
Oh, well, you've got a good shot then if this was a beat Adam in the trivia.
Yeah.
Because this man is insane.
It just
movie trivia.
It just
I
left
know.
my mind.
I know.
It left my mind. It'll come back, though. It'll come back.
Podcast one time when we were able to do the Kevin Bacon game with Adam.
That's true.
Via Andy Dick.
That's
Was
true.
like the launching point.
Yes.
I can't remember how we made the ties, but... Oh, no. Somebody had a picture.
So here's what it was.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so we mentioned it, and we said how to connect me to Kevin Bacon through Andy Dick.
Yeah, the least amount of steps to the Kevin Bacon game. Sure.
So someone had found a guitar magazine, Guitar World 2002, with Kevin Bacon on the front and Andy Dick on the front.
No way.
Yes.
For what reason were they? I see Kevin for sure, but
talk about some epicness. Like
that's amazing.
You did Kevin Bacon in one step.
I didn't think it was That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm in
Yeah.
awe.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you would have never guessed one step.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We thought it was going to be a good challenge, but no. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was very random and unbelievable. It really was just random and unbelievable.
Completely.
Yeah, here it is. There it is.
Yep.
What in the world? That's wild.
Yeah, there it is for the people watching on StreamYard.
Oh, well, I didn't know. Well, now I'm curious. Is Andy a guitar player? Is he?
He did have a band.
Oh, cool.
And then he did like comedic songs
Yeah.
and such. And so I'm guessing maybe that's when he was on there, maybe for that. But he can't play though.
I think you'll find a lot of actors really are talented in music in some way,
Yeah.
singing or playing or something.
Sure, well,
they just
especially-
don't do it, like
Yeah.
they took the acting gig. It was better or more lucrative.
Sure. Well, I think it probably helps their role potential, I'd imagine. If you
Sure.
can sing at least a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's probably from theater or
Yeah,
something.
because a lot of
high school
actors and
or-
actresses can sing
Sure.
pretty decently, pretty
Yeah.
decently. So we have, let's see, we got the IMDb score 8.0. Pulp Fiction was 8.2 last week. So we'll get into some facts, and then we will dive into some more of Sling Blade tonight on WLSD. So Carl is partly based upon a boy Billy Bob grew up with that could not walk or talk very well, and his parents kept him in a shed behind the house. There was two kids. One of them, this was his background, and that's one of the reasons when Carl is, hey, you can live out in the garage. That's why Billy Bob actually came up with that, because he knew a childhood kid, not a very smart kid, not very pleasant, I guess, to look at. So they kept him out back. And I'd watched an interview with Billy Bob, and he said they kept him out back like a dog. That was what Billy Bob had said.
Oh man.
So
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
heavy storyline.
yes, it's a very heavy storyline.
It's amazing something that simple, just one simple place or just one simple move of like where this person would stay can really evoke so much history in your mind of
Yeah.
like what this child went through.
Yeah.
Just that one simple sentence can really just like change the whole.
Perspective on
yeah.
it completely.
That's a
Insane.
So when Doyle tells Linda that a certain type of people makes him sick, he adds in the same sentence that he also gets sick of antique furniture and midgets. And Billy Bob has a phobia of the latter too.
I think I might have heard that.
Which is odd considering that Billy Bob Thornton was in Bad Santa with
Right.
Tony. I can't think of his last name, but his name's
I know
Tony.
I know exactly.
The little guy.
Yeah.
So that's I found that an interesting fact. But I'd known that Billy Bob was had a phobia of antique furniture, and I kind of have a phobia of antique silverware. It makes me nauseous.
Really?
If I try to eat out of it, it seems to make me nauseous. So I'm not sure about his. In order to make his walk more awkward as Carl, Billy Bob placed glass in his shoes because he kind of walks in, kind of weird, and he's also hunched over.
He is. Yep.
And I was watching where it was in the actor's studio, and Billy Bob transforms pretty much, as you've seen Jim Carrey do with his facial, from Billy Bob to Carl, and it's so odd. It's almost like looking at two different people.
Yeah.
Back to back.
I tried to look at Carl and see Billy Bob, and you just can't.
No.
Like I never did see anything that really reminded me of Billy Bob too much.
No, it blew my mind.
Yeah,
First
it's
time.
amazing.
We kept saying it like, wow, this
Yeah.
does not even look like him.
Yeah, when I first heard of this, I really expected Billy Bob to look like Carl, except with maybe, more hair, but look very similar. But when I saw Billy Bob as Billy Bob, I was like, what?
Yeah,
No
two different
makeup
two
or
different
anything,
people.
because that was a question. Any prosthetics, any makeup? And Billy Bob said no. And then he actually did his jaw like that and everything
And
on
it
the
looked
show.
Like he had aged, but do we know for sure how long? He was in the institute.
He was in there for 25 years.
20, okay.
So he's supposed to be 37.
37.
Because he was 12 when he went in, which is the same age as the boy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's heavy too.
Yeah, that whole aspect.
Fine, 'cause it was again, I had never seen it, so I was like, wow, this halfway through, and I paused it to go smoke, and I was like, this could go any number of ways at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is this going to play out?
Yeah.
Even right up towards the end, I was like, because at one point I was like,
man, is this dude going to end up killing Carl? Like, is Carl going to be the one that dies? Like, at first I was like, nah, I kind of knew, felt like I knew where it was going. I was like, well, man, maybe not. Maybe it'll play out completely differently, but no, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
So we have the character of Vaughn was specifically written for John Ritter, as Billy Bob Thornton and John Ritter were good friends in real life.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, because this wasn't Billy Bob's first movie, at the time when I'd first heard of it, I'd never heard of Billy Bob before until this movie.
Yeah.
But he had also been co-stars in other movies, and he was in a Steven Seagal movie called On Deadly Ground. If you've seen that, he plays one of the bar patrons who gets beat up by Steven Seagal.
Of course.
Yeah. Welcome to the business.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Welcome in, Billy Bob.
Everybody gets beat up by him. Yeah.
Everybody that's in Steven Seagal's movies gets there.
That's what you're there for.
That's like working fries. You know, like okay, your first order of business, we're gonna beat you. Yeah.
You got to get beat up by Steven Seagal.
So he's gonna kick you right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But after this hazing, you can move on to
something else. So all the members of Doyle's band are real life musicians.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
I thought
We were
of you
trying to
when
pick
that-
it out, pick them out. We had to look it up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I should have looked up the bands, but they were all in bands, and they were also, I think one or two of them were in Dwight Yoakam's band as well, traveling band. Lucas Black didn't know Billy Bob was going to ad-lib a certain line about potted meat. His laugh is genuine and made it into the final film.
Yeah.
I think I might have noticed that.
Yeah.
I think I did too. You'd about have to watch the whole movie to pick it up because
Yeah.
there's a couple of potted meat scenes.
Yeah.
And I think there's one where Doyle says something, and they're sitting on the couch, and I think that Lucas Black chuckles, or
I think that's
he
what I
may look
thought.
off like if there's a camera, like there might be a camera somewhere, and he kind of looks up for a second, then looks.
I was thinking
might be
that
wrong,
was
but-
I was thinking that because I actually made the itinerary before went back and reviewing the movie.
Yeah.
So let's get into the plot and the story. What do you guys think about the plot and the story?
Oh, it was good. And actually, when I was watching it, it put me in mind of course, this came out first, but Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yeah,
A different story, but kind of similar in a way. And
it's
if you haven't
both
seen
are
that,
Southern tales.
Yes, and if you haven't seen that one, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. It is fantastic.
I've watched part of it. I probably the first half I've watched, so I'll have to go check it out. It's on
Yeah.
Netflix now, I think.
I think so too. I think that's where I watched it.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I bet the book isn't wonderful. They usually are.
Yeah,
They're better anyway.
What do you think, Anthony Wayne? Story, plot?
Yeah, I don't know that I would have changed too much. I think the only thing I felt like just like in a from a direction standpoint, I felt like maybe there's some maybe the first 10 minutes, kind of 10 or 15. I felt like it was maybe just a little long, but then I thought maybe that needed to be there to set up
Right.
a little bit about Billy Bob or about Carl.
Well, I see what you mean.
For the last 20 minutes, because I feel like that's where the meat is.
Yeah.
I feel like
For sure.
everything was really just kind of
Filler, maybe?
yeah, maybe, and just kind of creating this. Maybe it honestly did create a mood.
Right.
It kind of
Sure, yeah.
it puts me in a mood. The whole movie, I was just like, oh, that it's kind of a somber thing, and then it builds tension. And I think sometimes when you pull it out a little bit, like when you draw things a little bit longer, it does create that tension.
Yeah.
So I think it was needed, but
I think, it
great story, just unreal, unreal story.
no, another interesting thing, the
I
opening
had no idea what to expect.
The opening monologue. Now, Billy Bob says this on Inside the Actor's Studio, that when he was becoming Carl in the mirror, figuring out the tics that Carl had, mannerisms, that he came up with that monologue 100% of what's in the film at one time.
Wow. Well, I wondered, there's a lot of scenes in there where I found myself wondering, I was like, is he ad-libbing this? Because you could totally see
Yeah,
that being possible.
yeah. And I don't know, it's a powerful story. It's a story that, I guess you could say in a way, it's a revenge story, but you don't know that it's a revenge story going in.
Yeah.
Because Billy Bob, and it's also early on, you realize what he's done, but yet immediately, or for me anyway, I was on Billy Bob's side.
Oh, sure.
Even though he is a murderer.
Yeah.
He's murdered 2 people. But you get the feeling, or he does say that he was abused, and we get into that a little bit later. He goes, talks to his dad, which is a cameo by Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a scene.
Which is also a good friend of Billy Bob.
Yeah, full of good stuff.
Yeah. So what about the characters? Any characters? What characters stand out? Any you didn't like?
I mean, there's plenty. There's characters. Dwight Yoakam's character is a character not to like. But as far as the performance, I mean,
he does such a great job that I hated him every time he was on screen.
Yeah, you do badly, and you're just rooting for something. It's like you're rooting for who's gonna kill him. You're
happy that Carl does what he does.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's justified.
Sure.
And it is justified because he's abused the kids.
Sure.
Or the kid, he's abused her.
Right.
What does he do? He works at a construction site and he's a drunk, and that's pretty much an abusive drunk, and he cheats on her. So,
plenty of reasons, and he just turns himself in and waits.
Yeah.
That's what's so.
Man.
Carl's a great
what
character.
Number do I
Doyle,
call to,
Lucas Black, he does a fantastic job. A young kid, never acted before.
That's some heavy stuff.
And he's still acting to this day.
He is.
Yeah.
He's still acting to this day.
Yeah. If you anybody that's listening, go look if you look his face up, like now you see him as a child and you go, oh, that's who that is.
Yeah. That's exactly
it's his
what happened
face.
to me.
Yeah.
My girl was like, she had to look it up and show me. I was like, well, I recognize the name because she's like, I was like, man, I know the name, but I am not.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He's also in the least successful Fast and the Furious movie too.
Yeah,
Tokyo
Drift. Yeah, I do remember him. I remember
That's
that.
the only one that he's
Forgot
in.
all about that. Yep.
And he also refused. In Hollywood, they often want you to lose your Southern accent for roles and stuff. But he refused to lose his accent. So in every role that he's in, he uses his genuine
Southern accent. Sure.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of a cool.
Why not? People like it.
Yeah.
Well, people like the way he talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's endearing, charming. So, and he's a good actor. So let's see. What about favorite scene or least favorite scene?
Well, I will say that I do love Colonel Bruce Hampton. He plays Morris in the band.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do love Colonel Bruce. I have a lot of history with not with Colonel personally, but I have played with him on the road. And
Okay.
I've hung out with him, and he's quite like that character.
Very cool.
He's very like if you ever do the history, I don't want to take too much time on Colonel Bruce, but he's kind of like a mentor of a lot of the younger. This is back in the 90s, a lot of the younger jam band guys who now have grown up.
Right.
And
Okay.
he had a band he's had a bunch of bands, but I think the most popular one at the time was Colonel Bruce Hampton and the Aquarium Rescue Unit.
Okay.
And that would be,
yes, I remember that.
Yeah. That was in the 90s. Jimmy Herring now plays guitar for Panic.
Okay.
O'Teal Burbridge plays for Dead and Company. Jeff Sipe, he plays with everybody. He lives in Nashville, or he lives in down in that area.
Okay.
Nice.
Matt Mundy was in that band. So
I remember that band.
And then he went on to do the Code Talkers, and then there was, but he goes back. He's like, he's quite like Frank Zappa,
right?
Quite like Captain Beefheart. He really like puts a lot of people under his wing and creates this safe space for them to really
kind of like this community.
Yeah, he's a taskmaster, and he like really wants these guys to get good, and they do.
Right.
Dwayne Trucks is another one. He plays drums for Panic as well.
Okay.
So I've always had a soft spot for Colonel Bruce, and then I don't know if you know the history, like, and you can tell me to stop. I could talk. This is music, so this is like this is how my brain is, but. And also, there's Vic Chestnut is in there, and Ian Moore plays Randy. Ian Moore is like in Austin, Texas.
Okay. I know Vic Chestnut.
Yeah, Vic Chestnut's the guy. But Colonel Bruce had he had that big 70th birthday party, and he had a massive heart attack and died on stage. This is a true story.
Wow.
So this is at the Fox Theater.
Right.
This is like maybe, I don't want to get it wrong, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's been maybe a little bit longer. but I was there. Like
Wow.
I bought tickets to that show and went to that show, and I saw every bit of it.
Wow.
So that's it's as heavy as you might think.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I remember playing some shows with Colonel Bruce in the Nashville area, and he's known for like very spiritual things, but he can guess your birthday, and he can guess your sign, your zodiac sign. Super intelligent, intuitive guy. He's quite like his Morris character. That is not far off base at all. And actually, the Morris character is really dialed down from like how eccentric and how fun and cool the Colonel is. But he did guess my birthday, which I thought was really cool.
Wow,
So I can always say that.
That is fantastic.
So he's like one of my favorites of all time. Vic Chestnut, Ian Moore. And then I think that's honestly all the actual musicians. I think the drummer in the band, he's actually an actor. He may play, but I don't know that he's like a professional touring guy. But I do know, obviously, Dwight. Dwight does his thing. But Daniel Lanois, he did the soundtrack. And if you ever can just track down Daniel Lanois, he's a massive producer, but he's done.
Well, we're actually listening to him on
some of your favorite records. Like you would never know Daniel. Like he just does. He's had his hands in so much stuff. Emmylou Harris and Neil Young, and Chris Whitley's daughter.
Wow.
Just and he does that version of The Maker at the end that's playing through, and it's got Daryl Johnson plays bass, and he's Daryl Johnson, and then Brian Blade plays drums, and he's been with tons of people too. So. And this is a Billy thing. Billy knows everybody. Like in that scene, he's got the box tops or the box the box tops. I forget the name. Box Elders.
Something.
It's Billy and the box tops, I think, or something like that. But
and
obviously,
he played over at Abington a couple years back.
Yeah, he still does.
Really?
Yeah, he has a band. He tours.
That's
and
cool,
that's just probably downtime stuff, like because the acting gig is here it is, and he's like, oh, you know what, let's get the band on the road.
Yeah.
But he just knows tons of people, and everybody loves Billy, and so it was probably
you can't hear it, but the track we're playing is one of my favorite.
And it's
the
it's
track towards the end.
Is it The Maker?
Yeah.
That's Daniel Lanois.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
I'm telling you,
fantastic.
if anybody
I was
listening,
watching, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is like it was one of the most impactful moments of the soundtrack. I felt like easy, and I was like, this is
Well, see, this is also in the part of the movie where Carl is standing there, the camera's panning around.
Yeah.
Then you see the house that Doyle's in.
Yeah.
It comes back around. And then
just
Billy Bob.
in the dark at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a scene.
Yeah, completely. It was
So
awesome.
did you have any other? I had a scene that I thought was really. I do like the ending scene when Billy actually does the deed and gets rid of Doyle.
Yeah.
But I also thought a very impactful and very heartbreaking story was the story that Carl tells about burying his brother.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten about that part.
Yeah.
I really had.
Like, it was already kind of heavy just with, like Anthony said, like just imagining, just what could have happened living in this shed. But then you hear that story and you're just.
And you can, and then when you hear his little brother was alive, and then Carl does this, but you can tell Carl didn't want to do this.
Yeah,
this is not the person that Carl was.
Yeah, he actually chose. He said, he chose to like put him in a box and like wrap him up and actually do a burial as opposed to, Robert Duvall had said at some point just. Put it out in the garbage or put it out.
Yeah.
It was a different time for sure. I don't know if that's the correct thing to do at that time, but it was definitely a different time.
Yeah. And there was a lot of things that a lot of the language and words used in that point of time that we've come a long way and we don't really use a lot of those words as well.
Sure.
But it didn't take away, and it actually I thought aided because that's the way it was at that point.
Yeah.
That's the way it was when Carl or those people grew up.
Yeah, we say when they grew up, but I mean, let's think about where we're at right now and look, just in this region. And is it that hard to imagine that in one of these hollers heading over the mountain to somewhere? I don't even know. I've ended up on. Listen, I didn't grow up around here. I'm from Florida.
Right.
Granted, I've been here for 30 years now. It's home now, but I know I've made trips and just. Ended up on some back roads when I'm traveling between here and like Indiana because my mother-in-law at the time lived in Indiana, so we would go out there and make a wrong turn coming back.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where we ended up. And we traveled over this mountain, ended up like towards Paducah, Tennessee. I don't even know. And it was like, it felt like Wrong Turn. Man, I'm not even lying. I was like,
Oh, those are
whoa,
good movies.
This is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and that's not to be stereotypical or anything to sound like that. But, I mean, you never know.
No,
I mean, because...
I think all that, as wrong as it is, all that, I don't know it's needed or not. That's not the conversation, but I think it really adds to like the authentic nature of it. Creates this picture for us of these people.
Yeah.
And like Doyle doesn't have to say much for you to get it.
Yeah.
You just go, okay, I know that dude. I know him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
exactly. There's. And this is a story that when I was doing some research on it, and every character, even the smallest of characters, are rich in character development, even if they're only on screen for a few moments.
Yeah,
J.T. Walsh as the sexually charged guy.
He's one of my favorites. Yeah,
he's at the beginning and at the end.
The girl that Carl meets at dinner, that you think like when it happened, the scene with the girl and she brings him the flowers and stuff, and I was like, oh, I did not see like a love story tying into this. Of course, it doesn't play. I mean, it doesn't really go anywhere. But yeah, even that character, I was just like, well, this is perfect, girl.
Yeah, but you get like 5 minutes of like a connection.
Yeah.
For those two, and you feel like it's possible. So your mind runs with it, and you go, oh, that could
and deep enough.
I want Carl to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I want
for Carl the whole
totally.
Time. Yep. But even that scene, it was one of those scenes, even within. Billy Bob's fantastic performance anyway, that was one of the most powerful scenes. Like, you can just see the expression on his face just completely changed.
Yeah.
Like when she brings him the flowers, like even the look in his eyes just looked like it was, I don't know, he played off that transition just great. It was just, wow.
There's a really
captured that just
you could almost have like your own day of shows just talking about how strong Billy Bob is at being an actor.
Yeah, I wanted to watch Pushing 10 when I finished. I was like, if you haven't seen that, it's a pretty good one.
Sure.
I'd always thought about watching it, but I always thought
it's good.
It's
pretty good. Angelina Jolie, and that's when him and Angelina were a thing.
Yeah.
When that movie was
that before? Was that how they met or during?
I can't remember. I want to say it was going on at the time. It might have been early, but you could certainly see how well we know how that relationship plays out, but even their characters in that movie is very much like that.
Yeah, that's
just
what I
like
gathered
the media
from the
played out
of it.
there. Yeah, totally.
So an interesting thing, there's another director that's also, and I thought when I rewatched it, another director that is in the what would you call that little thing, like
the ice cream shack? Yeah.
Do you know the director?
Jim Jarmusch.
Yep, you do. So and when I rewatched it, I was like, I think that's him. But I'm used to now, the hair. The hair.
You're used to that big pompadour, the thing he's got,
And he's relatively young in that.
I
mean, he's 27 years younger, so I
Billy,
guess.
Right.
Billy Bob was in his 40s for Carl, which surprised me.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Billy
Not
Bob
that that's
was,
old, but.
No, yeah.
But usually people start younger.
Yeah, right.
Or make it younger.
Right.
I'm always inspired by people that make it older, though, because that means they didn't quit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm 46 now, so okay.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, because that's one of the things, like, as far as age and people making it, like, I'm a big Anthony Bourdain fan. You know, and if anybody's listened to the show for a while, I'm all about restaurants. Like you are with food. I've done restaurants for 30 years now.
Awesome.
And so the man was like this huge influence. And so I, watching the documentary Roadrunner, if you haven't seen it, Apple TV's got it, is fantastic. It's heartbreaking. And
I actually have bought that and have not watched it, so now I think I will.
Good. It's so good. Like I was watching it, me and my girl, and she just kept looking at me because like I could see myself all through it. Because again, it was like
That's great.
personal hero kind of thing. But anyway, I found out like when he came out with Kitchen Confidential, which is kind of what launched him, made us all familiar with him, and led to everything else. He was 46.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when that guy was like, okay, and that was pre. No reservations,
right,
and all that kind of stuff. So he was probably like 55 or something, into his 50s when that was going on. I was like, Okay.
It seems like with Morgan
Okay,
Freeman.
fantastic. I'm 46. Here I'm on the radio now. There was a start. Who knows?
Yeah. Well,
Now,
Morgan
yeah.
Freeman didn't break through until he was 55.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was 35 before he broke through.
Sam Jackson, he was older.
Yep. He was in
Right,
his 40s, or
yeah.
probably 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
there's some,
Yeah.
One thing I always think about whenever
Don't give up hope because
yeah.
you're getting older. You're just
Stay
like
with
fine
it.
wine. Yes.
one thing I always think
You're
about
getting a more
musically,
concrete person. You know?
John Lee Hooker
Okay.
didn't really have success until he was like super late in his career, 70s, 80s. He was out,
Wow.
like everybody knew John Lee Hooker, and I don't know how true. I have not done my fact checking on this, but I want to say that there was like an award, maybe a Grammy or something,
Okay.
that came super late in his career, like,
Sure.
and he had been doing it already for like 70 years or however long, So
Right.
I always think of that.
Yeah. Nice.
Keep going, right?
So, but yeah.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think? We touched upon the score and the music. I thought it was fantastic.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's one of the
every-
best scores we've had.
Yeah, and we've had some pretty good scores.
Oh,
There's
man.
some good ones.
There's only been a few that's not been that great.
Yeah.
Death Becomes Her would be one of
Was
them.
good. Yeah.
But
Killing
this
Zoe was one of my favorites. I
That-
think
that had a
as
great
far
score.
as just fitting in with the film was
Yeah.
good. If you haven't seen Killing Zoe,
Seen it.
yeah,
Yep.
that's a
Love
good
it.
one. Yeah, great one.
But yeah, I don't think I wouldn't change anything
Sort of
about
Pulp Fiction, of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't change anything about the score in this. I mean, it's fits perfectly.
Yeah,
you can
agreed.
feel the emotions just through the score.
Yep.
Like you feel Carl's pain, and Lucas, not Lucas, but the boy's pain,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think it's minimalistic, but I really like it.
Yeah,
and,
no, it's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
Well, I have to add this, fellas. If you enjoy that soundtrack, you have to go back and just dig through Daniel Lanois' discography.
Okay.
It's all like that. Like
Wow,
everything that he
nice.
does and touches sounds like that.
We'll definitely have to go back and check
He's
some of his work.
he's a pedal steel player by nature, so a lot of things have shimmer. There's a lot of like emotion
yeah.
and like melancholy, but still bright,
Right.
maybe, or something.
Right.
Sure.
And it's still and then like there's also like T-Bone Burnett's like that.
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit. Some of those guys. But yeah,
Bo
music
Burnett,
is,
he's produced a lot of
Yeah.
great stuff. Over
and
the
he does a
years.
lot of soundtrack work too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those guys are very. I don't know if they're competitors, but I know they're hand in hand with a lot of the same artists.
Right. So
Music's vital to music or to movies rather.
Absolute life.
man,
yes.
Period.
And I
You imagine life without music?
No,
Oh, my
no.
goodness.
that sounds terrible.
I
I know. Like, it's horrible.
I listen.
Like,
I mean,
wow.
I do watch a movie every single day, but there's not one day that doesn't go by that I don't listen to 75 songs a day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some of the best things that I've come up with have been when I'm just trying to just listen to music and I get ideas from music.
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfect inspiration.
Yeah,
And
loving it.
the short film, we got a short
Can't.
film that is in the Frankenfest Film Festival in Knoxville, and the score on that, you've heard the score.
Yeah.
It's the glue that holds it together.
Sure.
And if you have a great movie without a good score, you don't have a great movie.
No, yeah.
You
Well, I
don't.
mean, because music itself can carry a story.
I always feel like
Without-
the score in the
You don't even need it, you
music
just need
tells
instruments.
the tells the
keyboards.
story, but through just that. That's
Yeah.
whenever I've written screenplays, I usually come up with the music first.
Yeah.
Listen to those songs while I'm writing the screenplay.
Well,
to
one
get
of my
those-
favorite pieces of music of all time is Peter and the Wolf.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You just can't be, and you can hear that whole story.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't need. You don't even have to need the narration. You get a little bit of set it. I was so Pro Arts had done it down at Union a week or so ago.
Yeah,
and I
I
was
heard about
wanting to
that.
get down there to it, and I wasn't able to, and I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping to catch it somewhere else.
Right.
Wonder if we can find that. Wonder if they have if they
Probably.
documented it somehow.
I don't know, probably.
'Cause I did
would be
see that.
good.
I-
That would
I
be
saw
good.
it. Yeah.
I've always enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think so too. So we've touched on originality. This is a very original film that we touched upon. Kind of a little bit of a revenge film. What else would you call this film? I mean, obviously a drama, but
Yeah, I don't even. I mean,
it's about friendship as well.
yeah,
if you
I have a
think
hard
about it.
time even looking at it as a revenge film, even almost.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
I would more see it as vigilante justice even than revenge. Maybe,
Yeah, I would say you're right about that.
you know.
But I think first and foremost, and also another interesting point is that Doyle's girlfriend, she's never in a scene by herself.
Huh.
Which I found interesting. I did notice it, but I didn't think. I just thought maybe she's just, obviously not a major character.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But he did that to show that she was dependent upon
I knew it.
people.
Yeah, that's great.
Sure.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's a
But I hadn't
very
really thought of that until I watched an interview with him, and he'd mentioned that, and I was like, that makes sense.
It sure does.
It's very subtle, but it makes sense.
You
Yeah,
know,
the movie's full of little subtleties like that, I think.
I think there's there's some moments where he, Carl was left alone. He was raised alone.
Yeah.
He was looking for love from his father,
Yep.
and there was obviously a moment of passion, not love maybe, but passion between his mother and that Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't understand that. So there's a misunderstanding of love throughout. Carl gets the flowers from the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He creates this love for this young boy and wants to become his friend and his guardian in a way, his pal, his big brother.
Yeah.
In
A
some
surrogate
way.
father in a
yeah,
way.
maybe.
Right.
There's a lack of love between Doyle and the mother.
And the son.
Yeah, and the boy himself is trying to find love somewhere, So,
Sure.
at the very end, when Carl's going around and saying a few things, kind of wrapping up what's happening here.
Yeah.
He says, I want to put my arm around you, and I'm going to leave. He says, I think I just want to put my arm around you and just hold somebody for just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen next is not going to be able to be undone.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I'm just going to get up and leave. And then, of course, Lucas Black is like, he yells at him in the distance, and you see Carl just turn around and leave. And then he goes to Ritter's house, and he's just like, he says, to me, one of the most important things in the film is he says that boy he lives in his heart.
He lives in his own heart.
He lives in his
Yeah.
own heart, and
Yeah.
that's a big place to
Yes.
Yes.
I said that to I was like, that is one of the most profound
Yeah.
things, and maybe in life, I think I've heard. I was like, because I could relate to that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
be. To me, I think it's a love
Wow.
story.
Yeah. I could see that, and you could see
Yeah.
the.
I can see the love story.
You could see the emotion in Vaughn's face.
Sure.
As a
Oh, yeah.
character,
Yeah.
He really felt.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because he was
for
suspicious
sure.
a little bit of Carl to begin with, if you think.
Yeah, he tried to lay down he tried to take him out to lunch, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm going to lay it down here. These are the cast of characters that you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Just make sure you understand what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But I think I think he said all these things, and he wanted Carl to react in a certain way, and he was just like, I think Carl just said something about fries.
Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah. That just reminded me. I hate to take us off of this topic, but
No.
I did bring a gift. Is that a weird thing to do? 'Cause
No,
I know,
no.
Okay.
No, by
No.
all means.
You're
You're the first guest we've had. We're
Yeah.
like loving it.
Well, okay. Well, I am super excited to do this with you guys. I don't know
Nice.
if you'll have me back or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah, definitely.
I absolutely love films, and I'm so busy in my own mind, in my own world, and recording and touring and all those things that I honestly, I didn't know that this was a thing. And so now that I do, I feel a little embarrassed because I should have been keeping up, because you guys are really cool.
Thank you.
And
We
and sometimes it's hard
appreciate
to
that.
cover all your bases, right? So
Right.
Yeah, right.
I did write a little song.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
about this. So sorry for the interlude. And I hate to
No. Yeah.
hate to.
Awesome. Here, hold on. I'm going to reposition.
Yeah.
the
So this is
camera
Anthony
right
Wayne's gift for
It is,
Real
yes,
Talk.
yes.
Yeah, see, I hate that see, I don't know what's up with my phone, because I was going to live stream too, but I can't.
We're gonna need
ever
those.
get
Maybe
a
we'll need
good
those too.
Signal, a good signal out of here. It's like I'm in this box or something.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness! All
I'm
right.
excited.
Yeah, me too.
I really am excited. We'll play the song "Smothered in Hugs" from the Sling Blade soundtrack in just a moment.
Oh, there's mustard.
Oh. I've never tried this before.
Oh hell!
Uh-oh.
I totally see where this is going. Right
I do
now.
too now after I see the mustard.
My mother made us
Wow.
some biscuits
Wow.
and
this
mustard.
is
Have you
good.
guys ever tried this?
No.
No.
Is
No.
this a silly idea to try
No,
this?
it's not. It's
a
I
great
thought,
idea.
I thought so. Backstory:
Carl's character talks a lot about this in the movie. This is like his snack, and I think that
Totally his
it
snack.
may have came from just them not having much money as a family.
Sure.
Him growing up, and this is something that you do. You know, families do this. You eat cans of beans. You know, but these are Mother Made.
Great.
So you guys, and we're all so. Are we in agreement that none of us have ever had this? Correct?
I've never had this.
Well, I will say this: I have never had just straight mustard, but I have had a sausage biscuit with mustard on it. I actually like them like that.
Okay,
Really?
I've never actually
Yes.
had mustard and biscuits in this
Neither have
way,
I.
so this is
Maybe,
like
maybe it's a southern thing.
Could be.
Yeah,
Could
so-
be.
Go ahead and get however you mean.
I'll grab two.
Yeah, please. And you got napkins?
I do.
Yeah, I just handed him some.
Okay.
Here, let me grab
And I
two
got
of
the
them
mustard
as
here,
well.
so
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll
This
let
is
you-
perfect. We weren't expecting snacks.
No, we weren't. We weren't.
We-
So are we
feel
going
like
with the
we
mustard
had we
in
used
the biscuit or on top of the
I
biscuit?
don't know. I think we maybe we should
I don't know what
we should
Carl
fan
did it-
out and see what we like
Right.
best, fellas.
No, I know when Carl was doing it, he had the knife and the.
He
mustard.
did. I think he just
Yeah.
put it on the biscuit and
Yeah.
just ate it straight. Like there
Yeah,
was
I
no
think he
like
did.
no fanciness to it. I think he
I
just
think that's what I'm
wiped
gonna
it
do.
and threw it down.
Okay, well that's what's going on here. I think.
We'll see.
I'm just gonna yeah. Right, yeah, I'm with you, Adam. Right there, just right on top.
All right, here it is.
Yeah, pass that mustard over. There we go.
Get it,
We'll
Casey.
give it.
Yeah.
We're trying biscuits with mustard in honor
Biscuits
of Sling
Carl,
Blade.
Sling Blade, and Carl.
Maybe this will be something going forward. There's got to be a food element to every movie.
Yeah,
certainly
yeah,
there
yeah.
has to be.
There does.
Should be promoting Black Bear Barbecue right now while we eat this.
Yes.
We do have a new chicken sandwich we dropped today.
Oh,
Actually.
cool.
Yeah, it's a buffalo chicken melt is what it was. Listen, if you haven't checked out Black Bear, Anthony, it's totally worth checking out. So they're their second year in, and no, it's like I'm a big barbecue fan. And
Yeah.
if you like barbecue,
I
it's
do.
definitely worth checking out. The chicken wings are off the charts. Like I'm a big chicken wing fan too, and so they're smoked. So we smoked the chicken wings first. and
I do like the
we
biscuits
flash fry them
with the mustard.
Let me take a bite of this.
It's an acquired taste, I think, but not as bad as I thought mustard on a biscuit would be.
Yeah, this tastes fine for me.
Yeah, it totally works, and it's better with sausage. Like I highly recommend it. Yeah, see, this isn't horrible.
No,
I don't think.
I thought it sounded worse than it's not as bad as I thought because I love mustard, I love biscuits, but I never had thought about the combination. And I'd forgot really that Carl ate biscuits like this until the movie.
Yeah.
I really did.
And he's that was the whole thing: mustard and biscuits and fries.
Fries. I remember I knew nothing about the biscuits and mustard thing. I had heard the pop culture reference to the fries, but never the biscuits.
So thank you, Anthony
Well,
Wayne.
of course.
Yeah,
This
that's
was a good-
fantastic. That
yeah.
was.
I meant to do this
unexpected.
earlier, and then I was running just a few seconds late, and then I got in. And I felt like I messed it all up for us. And
No,
I was
it was-
like,
it was great.
I better just get in and be a good student and
No,
just
the
be quiet for a
timing-
minute.
The
Yeah, he was
timing was
great.
actually perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
As far as where we're at in the time of the show. Mm-hmm. Biscuits and mustard is a fantastic segue into the other people's show.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally do this, like mustard and biscuits. I would do it, like
It's doable.
yeah.
Mustard Mondays.
There we go.
Here we
Right.
go. So I think we're all in agreement that we would recommend Sling Blade to the
man.
audience,
Oh, absolutely.
100.
and I think it has great. I'm glad we revisited this because it's been a long time since I had watched it.
Yeah, I'm. Listen, I'm glad that I had. I'm glad that I'm kind of glad that I hadn't seen it before I did the show because I like that. And there's a couple. It's actually cool because there's a couple of movies that we've done that I had not seen,
That's awesome.
which is always cool. And so one of the things I always like to do when we watch these, again, I've mentioned a couple of times, we do a lot of stuff out of the '90s. Because I think pretty much everything's been out of the '90s except Infinity Pool, right?
The menu.
Oh, the menu was the most current.
Mm,
That was
loved
one of
it.
Yeah, that's one of my
Loved
favorites
that
that we've
movie,
done.
yeah.
It's so great. If you have that's one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Yeah.
Is the menu that I could talk about restaurants just all day long.
Oh, I see that now.
No,
Yeah. Like that was
totally.
your movie then.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
that
I
was so
totally
good.
got it. It's just the whole story. It's fantastic. Go check that one out for sure. Check out the movie and the episode. You
Yeah.
can find it on YouTube channel. The Other People Show. I want to say it was episode 6, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, Anthony Wayne, you want to stick around for the other people's show?
You know it.
Yes,
Awesome.
he's in studio here, and you're going to be. Looks like you're going to play some tunes.
Well, I brought the small case that had the mustard and biscuits in it.
Sorry.
The big case actually had, because I thought we were doing Blade with
Wesley Snipes.
yeah, Wesley Snipes. So that case actually has some weapons in it. you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So,
okay.
sorry.
You know what? Wesley Snipes. I think they're remaking Blade,
I heard
but not with Wesley Snipes.
no, it's his name Mahershala Ali.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. But it's
Yeah, that's
weird.
fine. I'm okay with him.
I think Wesley. They should have him as the villain.
That'd be cool.
You know what I mean? Or have a little cameo or something in there. But yeah, thanks for joining us on Sling
Man.
Blade.
So glad to be here. Thank you guys.
We're going to,
Yeah,
like we said before, go and check out
great
all
first
the
hour.
Yeah, great first. Quick, went by so quick.
It really
They,
did.
they always do. Every time we do this, we're like, man, we need a 4-hour block.
4
I think,
hours,
honestly.
yeah, I think so too. So yeah, go to Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and check out the other people's show. Excuse me. Now I did an episode this past week. It was basically social media, online only, of The Dark Place, so they can check that out. And we're going to check out the movie Memento next week, the Christopher Nolan movie. So I think that'll be a fun treat.
Yeah. That's another one I haven't seen in forever, and it's been so long. I don't even remember the
basic
premise.
plot.
Yeah.
It'll be great. So Anthony Wayne's going to stick around for us on
Awesome.
the other people's show that will be coming up right after these messages. In just I was still chewing on my biscuit and mustard.
Yeah.
we should have took over for
Yeah.
you. Sorry about that.
No, it was great.
No,
It was good though.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in, and we will be back in just a moment.